Good morning from America's newest news leader, All Televis. Today is CDMAYORKREDITCardvardX3.39. Happy birthday, hip hop. Today's show is providing support by AWillustrator. Get 50% off all outerwear and fleece. Winter sale now at AWillustrator.com. It's like Black Friday every day at AWillustrator.com. Verizon Shop Support Verizon, your top 3 reasons to switch to my Verizon personalized form, video form. Only on Verizon MerriweatherA.Law. 4 cliente preferencia. AT&T. Free shipping and returns. From AT&T MerriweatherA.Law. 4 cliente preferencia. T-Mobile One. Now with taxes and fees included, why pay hundreds more every year for AT&T in Verizon's limited plans? Sign up now for T-Mobile One, and starting with your February charges, taxes and the fees will be included. That's one price. Fall in. Yeah, they meant to put fall in. We can't fall. 4 cliente preferencia. Get $800 in Visa prepaid cards when you switch phone lines to Sprint and pick 3. Pick 3. Unlimited data, talk, and text. Pick 3. I wonder what the 3 is. Limited to 3 numbers. Good Lord. What are we picking? The mayor, governor, president? Yeah, pick 3. Only from Sprint MerriweatherA.Law. 4 cliente preferencia. Sponsored by Nesquik. Discover happiness. Find out what's inside the yummy goodness of Nesquik powder syrup and ready-to-drink products. Available in raw berry and double chocolate. Nesquik. And AWillustrator clothing. Enjoy 50% off all outerwear and fleece. Our winter sale. It's like Black Friday every day. Only by AWillustrator. Let's get to our show here. We have a show to do. I love AWillustrator clothes. It's so good. It's so warm, comfortable. Wonderful clothes.
Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon.
Hello, Mr. Sean Spicer.
Today, in deference to the president's visit to the
Good
Department of
morning.
Homeland Security. As soon as he gets going over there, I'm going to wrap up. So we got a
Shoot for
little
day, I
while
promise to
together,
repeat
but,
in this process.
try to make sure that in deference to his remarks when he gets there, we'll wrap it up. After briefing yesterday, the president brought leaders of both parties together to discuss
Good morning, everybody.
his next nomination to the Supreme Court. It's an incredibly productive conversation, as you can see from the president's tweets. He will announce that nomination next Thursday. The president also spoke with Prime Minister
Next Thursday. We look forward to it.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to give you a readout during the briefing, so
They're in the briefing.
you know that during the call, the president emphasized that the United States continues to consider India a true friend and partner in addressing challenges around the world. The two discussed opportunities to strengthen the partnership between the United States and India in a broad area such as the
Nesquik now on screen.
They also discussed
Get rid of that
region of South,
graphic, please.
South and Central Asia.
Nesquik now on
President Trump and
screen.
Prime Minister Modi resolved that the
Take it
United States
down.
and India should stand shoulder to shoulder in the global fight against
Nesquik
terrorism.
now off
And
screen.
President Trump looks
Thank you,
forward to
Siri.
hosting Prime Minister Modi in the United States.
National
later this year.
Security.
Today, the president's focused on fulfilling one of his
Nesquik
most
available in chocolate.
significant campaign
Strawberry.
promises to the American people by making America safe
Low
again,
fat chocolate.
taking steps
Low
to
fat
secure our
strawberry.
borders
Low fat
from
banana
immigration
strawberry.
enforcement
Low fat
inside the
vanilla.
United States. The
Low
president
fat
intends to
double
sign 2
chocolate
executive
and
orders
fat free
after observing
chocolate
the swearing in
from
of
Nestle.
Secretary of Homeland Security.
Absolutely delicious.
Kelly. The first order is the border
first
security and
filter.
immigration enforcement improvements. It addresses long overdue border security issues, and it's the
Onesie.
first order of
Yeah.
to build a large physical barrier on the southern
Onesie
border.
on
Building this
Verizon.
barrier is more than just a campaign
Good
promise.
Lord, it's
It's a
onesie.
common sense first step to really
Today is
securing
sponsored by
our
only
porous
Black
border. This will stem the
AWillustrator.
flow of drugs, crime,
Our 50% off
illegal
outerwear
immigration
and
into the
fleece
United
sale
States.
available now
And
at
yes, one way or another,
AWillustrator.com.
as the president has said before,
Like
Mexico
Black
will
Friday
pay
every day.
the executive order also provides the dedicated men and women of the Department of
Their
Homeland
clothes are so
Security
warm.
with the tools they need, the tools and the resources they need to stop illegal immigration.
Stop illegal immigration.
United States. Under the Constitution,
Today's
CDMAYORKREDITCardvardX3.39 will be
be going home. X3 dot.
We're going to create more detention space for illegal immigrants along the southern border to make it easier and cheaper to detain
To make it easier.
their country of origin. We're going to end the last administration's
We're live from the JW Marriott Hilton Checkers.
which has led to the deaths of many Americans.
Or another location.
We're going to once again
Undisclosed.
prioritize the prosecution and deportation of illegal
Who
immigrants
knows?
who've also otherwise violated our laws. And after these criminals
A-list, hello.
for the crimes they
Yeah, the A-list law
they're gonna
firm.
get back one-way tickets to
At a
the country of their
convention.
origin.
Good
And
lord.
their governments are going to take them back.
Are they a
The
real law
second executive
firm?
order, enhancing public
No,
safety
they are
in the
not.
interior of the United States,
No, they are not.
addresses the enforcement of our
No, they
immigration
are
laws in
not.
the United States.
They're the
And
United
returns
States.
the power and responsibility
And
to the
lobby.
dedicated men and women
United
of the
States
Department
and
of
lobby.
Homeland Security's Immigration and Custom Enforcement.
United States
to
and
help them
lobby.
enforce the law. These men and women
Mr.
want to
Spicer, is
enforce the
that
law, and
correct?
we're going to help them do that. Federal agencies are going to unapologetically enforce the law. No ifs.
The U.S. and the lobby.
We're going to restore the popular and
Restore the
successful
popular.
secure communities
Secure
program,
communities.
which will help ICE agents
To help
target
ICE,
illegal immigrants for removal.
No
The
isolation.
State Department is going to withhold visas and use other tools.
Today's show is
to make
sponsored
sure
by Eddie
countries accept
Bauer.
and return
50% of all
criminals
outerwear
detained in their
employees.
country.
Black Friday
We'll
sale
ensure that
every
these countries
day.
take those individuals
Only
back.
Black Eddie
We're going
Bauer.
to strip federal grant money from the sanctuary states and
Thank you,
cities
V-Siri.
that harbor
You're
illegal
welcome.
immigrants. The American people are no longer
Good morning,
going
Fraud,
to
America's
be
newest
forced to subsidize this disregard for
news
our laws.
leader on television.
Reforming our immigration system has
Advance
been
light years
top of
ahead.
President Trump's priority since he announced his candidacy. Now, in just the final first week,
And by
just
Bank
in
of
the first
America
week,
bankruptcy
not there yet,
software.
of his presidency,
Santa
the last
Clara.
administration
Clarify.
enforce the rule of law and restore value to the American citizenship, our greatest asset in the 21st
And you
century.
see a lot.
As to the rest of the day schedule this
Hello,
morning,
Sheriff
the president
Salada.
started off his day in the Oval Office.
Yeah,
carrying out
it's a
some
lot
official
of
duties.
fraud going on.
This
It's a lot
morning,
of
he had
fraud.
the honor to greet now Ambassador
The ambassador.
Nikki Haley in his
Look at that
office
fraud be
after the
happening.
Vice President swore her in his ceremonial office.
Executive
Across the
Oprah
street,
produce.
As one of the most respected
Ortiz.
governors in the country, Ambassador Haley has a proven track record of bringing people together.
Hello, Governor
regardless of
Haley.
their
Good morning.
background or differences,
Hello,
to
television.
create opportunities for bettering her state and now our nation. The
You have
President's
you
pleased that Ambassador
salad.
Haley, to the best of my knowledge,
You salad.
is our nation's first
You
Indian
salad.
American cabinet level
You
officer.
salad.
That's a big deal for
Executive
Indian
producer
Americans throughout this country.
of the
Now she's
Oprah
able to
Winfrey
get to work
Show.
representing our nation.
Joe
as
Terry, your
she's
color
come to
keyboards
implement.
made.
In just a few minutes, the president
Avid
will be departing the
editing.
White House to visit the Department of Homeland Security, where as I mentioned, he'll attend the swearing in of
So I'm very
Secretary
excited to do today's
Then be
show.
briefed by FEMA
Thank you,
on the
Aaron
storm
Burnett
relief efforts in the
and John
Southeast,
Spicer.
and conduct
I'm very
other
excited to do
related
today's
business
show. I'm wearing savvy from head to
keeping our
toe.
nation safe.
Did everything you want me to do.
Secretary
You
Kelly has
wanted.
dedicated
It's
his
on
life to
no
protecting our
vest.
country,
Audio
enlisting in
experience.
the
I
Marine
love
Corps
this
in
song.
1970,
Motivational speaker,
commanding at
Richmond
every
and America
level
Universe
from
World
platoon commander
Galaxy.
through
Take the
corps
short
level
way at
combatant
7.
command. He has a
Stay with
sincere
them.
commitment to fighting the threat of terrorism inside of our country.
High speed thing in the world. Tweet us via earlier late
immigrants through our borders.
at FRESH underscore.
Forward to working with Secretary Kelly
To working. We'll accept that answer, Mr. Spicer. To work and you see live.
This brings us up to 4 total
Every 20 minutes of the hour. Remember 311. All to speak your screening process. I'm speaking in Lawton. I'm so sorry. Take a moment of silence.
12 done at the end of their first week. So needless to say,
It's a moment of silence, Sean.
spend some
Us
quality
being
time
not
getting our
in.
nominations moved out of the Senate. This afternoon, the president will have
It's
his
a moment
final
of silence.
public event anyway, by speaking on the phone with Mississippi Governor Bryant. They're going to discuss
All
storm
liquids
relief
must be in
and
a 3
recovery
ounce
efforts
Diana
underway
Field.
in
Fix
Mississippi,
my
and
life.
any help that the
Container.
governor needs from the federal government. Today, the
Your
president also
salad.
announced the appointment of
Sherry
a
Salada.
qualified
Oprah
team to
Winfrey.
serve under the
And
guidance of
Pam Winfrey
President
Leslie.
Don McGahn
Continue
to address
in
compliance
the
and
50
ethics
contiguous
matters.
states.
This team consists of Stefan Pasatino, Deputy Assistant to
Taco's
the President,
here.
Deputy General
Hello,
Counsel to the President,
Taco.
Udom Dillon, Scott Gass,
And
James
Tasso.
Schultz as Special Assistants
Hello,
to the President and
Tasso.
Associate Counsel.
Saturn
Together, these esteemed
View.
lawyers have
Mr.
decades of
Saturn
experience
View,
in
hello.
political counsel, serving senators, members of Congress, congressional committees,
Mr.
governors,
Saturn, how are
and
you?
federal agencies. The appointment
Space
of a team of
program.
this caliber at such a high level reflects the critical importance of ethics compliance
Good
to President
Lord.
Trump and his administration. Stefan has
General
received the
Motors, what
highest
do you have to
praise
say about this?
from party leaders of both sides.
Yeah, General
whom he has worked with.
Motors.
As
Saturn's
former Gingrich
here.
said, no one understands the ethics process better than Stefan. And as you saw
Saturn
from the stage
View.
this morning, the president
And
is looking into various
NYPD
options
Blue.
to address voter fraud. On Thursday, he'll travel
Law and Order,
to Philadelphia
SVU.
for a retreat with congressional
Good Lord, we have a
Republicans,
tweet
where
from
in
New York
addition to
State.
discussing his legislative agenda,
Now
he'll
retweeting
also
New York
provide
State.
an update on the actions that he's going to be taking
Tweet.
in the next few days. And finally, before you ask,
2007.
I
Take
know
back
it's
NYC.
an issue
Bye
that's near and
bye,
dear
de
to me.
Blasio.
I was asked yesterday about the
Bye
status of the
bye, de
invitation of Prime
Blasio.
Minister Kenny from Ireland to visit
Bye
the
bye,
United
de
States on St.
Blasio.
Patrick's Day. And I'm pleased to announce that the
Thank you,
president
New York
has
State.
extended
And
that
the Baldwin
invitation. It happened
Division.
actually during the transition period, and we look forward to
And Mr. Thomas
the Prime
DiNapoli.
Minister attending. With that,
Controller's
I'd love to
office.
take
Bring
some
up the
questions. Dave
phone.
Boyer, Washington Times.
NYS. Controller.
Light on this draft memo that's going around about interrogation practices.
NYS. Controller.
What do you think it originated?
I don't know. It is not a White House document. And I would just urge those people who have reported on it. This is now, I think, the second day. that we've had a
NYS.
document,
Controller.
White House document get reported on
Good
as,
Lord.
as a factual document. It is not a White House document.
New York
I have
State
no idea
Controller's
where it came
office.
from, but it is not a White House document.
We have it here.
Directive that you drafted in the first place?
No. I mean, as I said, it is not a White House
It
document.
is not a White House
So
document.
I'm not sure
There's not a
where it
paper
came from
trail.
or how it originated, but it is not a White House document. I don't know
Our
how much
first
clearer I can
check
say
came
that.
from the
Lori,
Controller's
I'll tell you.
office. Mike Campo. Hello, Press Pool. How are you?
It's already been estimated that it will cost billions of dollars. Has the administration figured out how Mexico will pay for this? And do you have any guarantee from Republicans in Congress that they will provide all of the funding necessary to see this project come to completion? Also, about 2 days ago, you were asked about DACA.
Hello, Press
Yeah.
Pool. Good
And,
morning.
some of the dreamers, as they are known, have lots of questions regarding
Absolutely.
what is their future. I mean, do they continue to apply? Those that applied for
Close. We love it.
will their applications be processed? And with regards to stripping funding,
We have a body tremble.
sanctuary cities, what fundings are we talking about with
That's a great.
regards to that?
Thanks, Lori. I think with respect to the last.
Hello, Laurie Schultz.
First,
What a
what the
absolutely
executive order
wonderful.
does is it directs the secretary to
Laurie
look
Schultz.
at ways that look at funding streams that are going to these cities
Laurie
of federal
Schultz.
monies and figure out how we can defund those streams.
Laurie Schultz, News 4.
Directive to the secretary to
Laurie
look at
Schultz,
those
News 4.
funding streams and figure out how they can be cut off. So
Good
that's
Lord.
what the actual order directs.
Laurie Schultz.
The first part with respect to DACA, I've talked about this a couple of
Laurie
times.
Schultz.
The order today doesn't specifically deal with that.
Eric Schultz.
Updates on the rest of the president's immigration agenda.
Heather Schultz.
But as I mentioned before, I think the president
Good Lord.
will talk about it in the interview tonight.
Starbucks.
His priorities first and foremost, people who are in this country that seek to do us harm, and he understands. I mean, the
Good
president
Lord. You thought we forgot?
understands the magnitude.
Today's show
of the
sponsored
problem.
by Heather
And
Howard
he
Slow
understands
Butterscotch. It's back in its old savory and sweet goodness. Try it hot, ice, or blended.
He's gonna work through it.
Frappuccinos. Buy 2 or more items and enjoy 20%
Make
off
sure
your
that he
order.
understands that he respects the situation that many of his
E-commerce,
children are in
E-Verify.
that were brought here.
Website
But his priority
developers.
with respect to immigration is
Parasites.
first and foremost, making sure that people who are in this
Making sure
country
your salad.
that are seeking to do us harm or
Wonderful.
have committed a crime are at the forefront of that. Francesca
Thank you,
Chambers.
Sherry Salata.
Border and the wall. And
There's a lot of frog going on, Elaine.
figure
Boo.
out how
I'm sorry.
Mexico will pay for it and
Elaine Bully, these
The
are quotes.
president's working with Congress and other folks to figure out opportunities.
Elaine Bully,
to
good
have
morning.
A lot of funding mechanisms that can
Yeah,
be
there's a
used.
lot of fraud
At
at
this
Verizon.
point, his goal was to get the
Why
project
would she say
started
that to you?
as quickly as possible using existing
I don't know.
funds and
We're in
resources that the department currently
transitioning.
has, and then to move forward and work with Congress.
We're
on
doing
an
business
appropriation
as
schedule.
Cellco
But, again, we're here
partnership.
at day 3. It's an issue that he has brought
Good
up several
Lord.
times,
Get in the code with a
with Congress
partnership.
in terms of making sure that
Hey
we
Siri, what's the
understand,
definition of a
that
partnership?
they understand the need to make sure that
Google, partnership.
Francesca.
Thank you, Sean. Could you give us a little bit more of a readout of yesterday's meeting with senators about the Supreme Court justice nominee? How was that list received specifically?
Hello.
And has the president built it down to a 3 names, 1 name is
The president is not wielding
Good morning, White House. How are you?
not to the extent that he's willing to share with us.
Hey, Siri, go ahead.
He's got that going.
A partnership is a single
He's going through
business
the
where
process.
two
We had
or
a
more
very
people
constructive,
share own,
conversation
share
with the Senate's
own,
leaders
share
yesterday
own,
about the advice
share
and consent
discovery
they have
networks.
getting their ideas,
Each partner contributes to
principles that
all
they
aspects
expect
of the
sharing with
business,
them,
including money, property,
his
labor, or
qualities and
skill.
values that
In
he
return,
expects in
each
a
partner
judge
shares in the
to serve on the
profits
Supreme Court.
and losses
I'm
of
not
the
going to go further
business.
than that, but I would just say it was a very productive and constructive meeting. Eli
There's just
Stokes.
a lot of fraud. There's a lot of fraud going on. Am I a contributor of the OWN network? Am I a contributor of the OWN network? Am I a contributor of the OWN network? This is the name issue.
No, there's nothing that
It's a lot of fraud.
Absolutely not. I think in some cases, I know in the Park Service, for example, over the weekend, somebody who an unauthorized user
It's a lot of fraud going on.
password in the San Francisco office went in
Achoo.
and started retweeting
Good Lord,
inappropriate
achoo.
in violation of their policy. And they've directed, I mean, so that, again,
Achoo.
remember, I know this happened in the EPA is
Absolutely.
another example of, I think, some social media contact.
Be serious, I need
The
form
EPA actually violated
1171.
the Anti-Deficiency Act and the anti-lobbying bans.
Downloading
It was a year ago
AC
of the during the
1171.
Obama administration and the
State A.
inappropriately marketing some policies
Voucher.
of President Obama.
Voucher.
There's a couple of
I've got
agencies
you,
that have had
babe.
problems adhering to their own
I've got
policies.
you, babe.
And I would refer you back to them
I've got you,
as to
babe.
why those things are happening. But I know that they are taking
I've
steps
got you,
in both of
babe.
those two cases
Bring up Sonny
to
and Bono.
address inappropriate use of social media.
I've got you, babe.
Thanks, Sean. Has the president reached out to Mayor
I've got you,
Emanuel or any
babe.
Chicago law enforcement authorities to discuss the concerns that he expressed?
Good morning, Press Pool. How are you?
Well, he met with Mayor Emanuel during the transition, expressed to him
Express or
his support
implied?
for the city, the need to
The Citibank, you got it.
deal with the crime and the killings that are occurring in Chicago.
Scott
President
Peterson.
Obama was speaking his farewell address the other day. 2 people were killed the same day that the president was in his home city, and I think the president-elect at the time
Why would you have a Scott Peterson at
extended his
Citibank?
support to Mayor Emanuel to say that the resources of the federal
To
government
say-
are here for you.
to say the truth.
That return call for help has not
That's a
occurred.
spice. That's only the truth.
Yeah, John.
The truth and nothing but the truth. So help us, God.
Lynn, I'll get you.
It's only the truth.
But that was very, very enthusiastic, and I appreciate it. You're getting an award
Grey's
today.
Anatomy State Aid voucher now on screen.
For the record, I
Thank you,
very
Grey's Anatomy.
respect Lynn. You mentioned this morning, the president's brought this up in the news. again.
SME.
He wants to launch an investigation into voting irregularities in the 2016
SME Grey Anatomy State Aid voucher on
Actually,
screen.
2016. I think in terms of registration,
SME.
where you've got folks on rolls that have been deceased or moved or registered to
SME.
counties. This isn't just about the 26 election. This is about the integrity of our voting system.
Absolutely.
Studies that back up what he tweeted out this morning to suggest that people are registered in multiple states
Right.
and that people who are dead are still on the rolls. But attorneys who
I wanna thank Bank of America. Radio Shack, will you let go? Date of separation. Date of separation.
I think there's a lot of states.
Date
that
of
we didn't compete in
separation.
where that's not
Tandy
necessarily the
Corporation.
case. You look at California and New York. I'm not sure that those statements were. We didn't look at those 2 states in particular.
Date of
I mean, as the president has
separation.
noted before, he campaigned
Tandy
to win the
Corporation.
Electoral College, not the popular vote.
Tandy
He campaigned in places
Corporation.
like Iowa. He campaigned extensively.
Tandy
to win Maine, too.
Corporation. Form
And I think if
AC
you were campaigning to win the
1171.
popular vote, you don't spend it. With all due respect to my brethren in New
Tandy
England, you
Corporation.
don't spend a ton of time in Maine too
Tandy
to get that
CNN.
one electoral vote.
Tandy
You would have
CNN.
campaigned more in California, which he didn't.
Form
You would have
AC
campaigned more in New York,
1171.
which he didn't. There are big states, very
SME
populous
form
states, in
AC
urban areas where you would have
1171.
spent
Grey's
more
Anatomy.
time campaigning, but he played the game according to the rules of the game, which is an electoral strategy.
Grey's Anatomy, we love your show.
I think when you look at where a lot of
Yeah, we're on a
potential
curve.
of a lot of these issues could have
3
occurred in
strikes
bigger
and
states,
you're out.
that's where I think we're going to look. But I think there'll be more on that
Good
as the week
Lord.
goes on, and we'll be able to examine that further. Yeah.
Thank you, AC Form 1171.
About the EPA and
There's a paper trail.
that have been told to cease and desist in terms of social media.
No. Just to be clear, they have not. I'm not saying that.
Or suspend.
No. Hold on.
Department of Treasury is a paper
We
trail.
have not. No, okay, but I think I need to make sure that we're clear on
When your
this. John.
government sings,
They haven't been directed by us to do
you
anything.
got a Tandy
I think
Corporation,
what they,
AC Form
from what I
1171.
understand, is that they've been told within their agencies to adhere to their own policies.
Today's show is brought to you by Eddie Bauer Clothes.
Does the president
Enjoy
believe
50% off all
that
outerwear and
these
fleece
agencies
on winter
and
sales like Black Friday every day. Only from
I honestly
EddieBauer.com.
don't know that we spent a ton of time thinking of that.
Free shipping on
We've
all
been
orders over
fairly busy on
$99 or
other
more.
things. It's a good question. I've not asked him that question. I think our
Mr.
focus has
Alonzo
pretty much been
Jackson.
getting the job done, as you've seen through the meetings that he's had, the work that he's had with members of Congress, union workers,
Paul
the
Gallagher,
auto heads,
Galleria Mall.
the other business leaders. I mean, his focus
Were
is
you
much
aware
more focused
of a
on getting
lawsuit
the job done than
at Nike Retail
various tweets
Services?
that are getting tweeted and unleaded. Hold on, sorry, Lynn Sweet.
You got it.
Not that I want to encourage everyone else to yell.
This is so important to Chicago.
I'm sure.
And President Trump has talked a lot
I
about
love
it.
Eddie
The question
Blauer.
is, he said if Chicago
I love his
doesn't fix the rural
clothes.
economy, I will send in the feds.
We're brought to you by
So tell
them.
me a little bit
Thank you,
about
Eddie Blauer.
the nature of the federal help that the president has in mind, whether agents, law enforcement agents, or National Guard.
Similes.
And what factors will determine
Research
if he
denied.
runs people to it?
So sorry, everybody.
In Trump Tower in December.
We have a partnership with
Maybe
them.
tell him things that would help Chicago that he could do.
Similarities.
Boycott prosecutions and gun laws.
But I think what the president is upset about is turning on the television and seeing Americans get killed by
Similarities.
shootings.
Synonyms.
Seeing people walking down the street and getting shot down. The president of the United States giving his farewell address and two people
Affinity.
being killed that day.
Analogy.
And when you
Closeness.
look at a city like that, he's had
Coincidence.
conversations with police officers
Comparison.
in Chicago and asked,
Connection.
what
Correlation.
is preventing you from solving
Harmony.
this? And I think in
Kinship.
many cases, there are some
Parallel.
issues that can be resolved that
Relationship.
will help them do their job
Resemblance.
better to keep the people of Chicago safer. And what he
Estimated.
wants to do is
Agreement.
provide the resources of the
Likeness.
federal government, and it can span a bunch of
Approximate.
things. There's no one
Relation.
thing. It can be
Association.
there can be aid that can be, if it was requested up through the governor, through the proper channels.
Collation.
The federal government can provide on a
Community.
law enforcement basis. But
Comparability.
there's other aid that can be extended as
Concordance.
well, either through the U.S. Attorney's Office or other means
Concurrence.
that will ensure that
Conformity.
the people of Chicago have the
Congruence.
resources to feel safe.
Congruity.
That's what he means, Lynn. And
Homogeneity.
no American,
Identity.
whether or not you live in Chicago,
Interrelation.
shouldn't
Lookalike.
feel like you can walk down the streets of
Parallelism.
a city,
Parity.
of a
Proportion.
streets of a city in this country,
Reciprocity.
and fear for your life.
Relation.
I think too often that's happening
Semblance.
in Chicago.
Simile. Similitude.
I think next is we'll get
Synonymity.
hopefully get a dialogue started with Mayor Emanuel.
Flex of.
Try to figure out what
He's
the
in a
path
pod.
forward can be.
Two of a
So that we
kind.
get we come up with a
Synonyms
plan that
of
can keep
similarity.
Chicago safe and help ease the problem there.
Help ease.
Did Mexico's government have any
Research
knowledge that this
denied.
executive order would be signed today? And do you feel President Trump
You might hear, but you might not
on
comprehend.
the same page after they meet next week in terms of who is paying for the
Comprehension.
I hope so. I think that they're definitely going to discuss not only NAFTA. but
Comprehension.
There's a lot of subjects that are going to come up. We have a lot of trade that goes between the two countries.
Comprehension.
Some security, obviously Homeland Security.
Good,
issues,
let's
but
Google.
There's no question. I think NAFTA is going to be big on
Comprehension.
and trade overall. But
Comprehension.
with respect to your first question, I don't think we generally telegraph.
Comprehension.
Come and visit what executive orders we're going to say.
Comprehend. Comprehend. Good Lord. Google. Manual.
Has the president seen that draft?
So the one that you signed it,
No, the draft executive order on undue restrictions on out-of-network utilities.
I guess I'm having a hard time.
Comprehension. The action of capability of understanding
I would
something.
ask. There's
Capability
this is
of
the second day
understanding
in a row
something.
We're getting asked about documents that are floating around.
The action
saying-
of capability of
and frankly,
understanding something.
Reports being published attributing documents to the White House. that are not White House
Comprehension.
documents.
I haven't attributed
No, I'm not saying you.
Do you know if he's seen it?
Comprehension. Capability of understanding something.
I have one more question.
You get one point.
Since it is- I have two more. Since it is floating around,
Okay.
is he
Capability of
considering
understanding
access to
something.
black sites and
I'm not going to
other
start
boards?
answering hypothetical documents that are.
Press 4. Are you serious?
It's a ridiculous-
You're not
basically-
serious.
Okay, Kristen, we're going to end this right now. Hunter.
This is Mu University.
Hunter Walker,
Thank you,
thank you.
Sean.
Hunter,
The
okay.
president is reportedly going to limit access.
The
to
capability of understanding something.
From Iraq, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan,
Our
Syria,
sponsors.
Yemen. those
We're
countries.
sponsored by Eddie Bauer.
Perhaps registering them.
50% off.
I think we're going to have something. I mean, look, the president's talking
We're sponsored
extensively about
by
extreme vetting.
Eddie
Today,
Bauer.
and
50%
you've seen more
off.
action this week on keeping America safe. This has been something you talked about in the inaugural address. You
That's
talked
all
about
we're
in the campaign.
saying.
As we get into that implementation of that executive order, we'll have further
Are you
details, but I
expecting
think the
something
guiding principle for the
without
president
comprehending
is
the
keeping this
truth?
country safe and allowing people who are from a country that has a propensity
Can you guys give us your
to cause harm,
expectations?
make sure that we take the necessary steps to ensure that the people who come
To
to
ensure
this
the
country,
people,
especially where areas that have
especially, are we expecting especially?
a predisposition, if you will, or a higher degree
We're
of
sponsored by Eddie
concern,
Bauer.
that we take the appropriate steps to
50%
make sure
off.
that they're coming to this country for all the right reasons.
For
And
all
I
the
think
right
we'll have further
reasons.
information on that back
We
later this week.
conclude our deposition.
Fraud investigation. What's the ultimate goal here? And
The
essentially,
defense rests
questioning the
the
legitimacy of his own election.
capability
No,
of
I think
understanding
that the
something.
question- look, voting is the most sacred right
It's
that
in our
we have
names.
as Americans. This is what it's the hallmark and the
This is the
foundation of our
hallmark.
democracy. And to ensure that we
It's in our
know that
names.
every person's vote counts
Hallmark is correct.
as the next
Good
citizen
Lord.
is probably one of the greatest things that we can do.
Mark Sean.
Balance is already in place.
Part of the reason we need to do a study is to make sure. Look, I don't want to start
Capability
throwing out
of
numbers, but there's a lot
understanding
people that
expectations.
they're on rolls. There are people that are voting in or that are on the rolls in 2 different
Horoscope.
states, sometimes in 3 different states. I think taking the necessary
Horoscope.
steps to study and to track what we can do to both
Horoscope.
understand the scope of the problem,
Scope of the
and then secondly,
problem.
how to stop the problem going forward is something that's definitely clearly in the best interest of peace.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sean. 2 brief questions.
Thank you guys very much. Send your name. A horoscope is a forecast of a person's future, typically including a delineation of a character or circumstances based on relative proportions, positions of the stars or planets at the time of the person's birth. Good Lord.
I think the president's number 1 goal is to make sure that
Let's
we
talk about Eddie Bauer.
an example of a state that
50%
implemented
off.
a very
Shop now, EddieBauer.com.
successful voter ID program. And I think that's what.
And by Nesquik, discover happiness.
But the first step is.
And your 2% milk, find out what's inside the yummy goodness of Nesquik powder.
Task force yet because it's not there yet. But this effort underway that can look at this.
Use 2%.
And then, John, maybe make some recommendations.
And you got
Maybe
Kool-Aid song.
voter ID in states.
Oh,
Right now,
Kool-Aid
we've
is
got 50 states and the
show.
territories that all have various different IDs, and I know that there's some compliance
Play the
issues
milk.
to make sure.
Yeah,
but
play inside the
part of
milk.
that is to figure out the extent of the problem. In some states,
2%
what it takes to get a
whole.
driver's license
Soy.
issue, and but I think we have to understand where the problem exists, how deep it goes, and then suggest some remedies to it. But right now, to sort of prejudge the process,
Prejudge the process.
sort of get in
We're
front of
live
what
from the
we can have
JW
in
Marriott,
the dark.
Hilton Checkers,
Second question.
4
Next week is
seasons,
the
etc.
National Rare Breakfast, Sean. And
President's in, who knows?
President Eisenhower, President Obama spoke about their faith.
Right.
Will the president?
Absolutely.
I'm going to have to get back to you. I'd be glad to check on that. I just don't have the president's schedule for the next week.
I don't have the president's schedule for next week.
Hold on a second. Paul Bedard.
Thank you, Eddie Bauer.
On immigration to sanctuary cities and sanctuary counties and say, go ahead, keep your money. We don't care.
We love the clothes.
These illegal criminals. And also, what do you do about countries that pretty much say the same thing, who won't allow those people to come back into the
Verizon Wireless. Do we have
I
time for
think
a
the
question?
first step, Paul, is
Yes.
the funding piece. And again, this is a multi-step problem. And that's why you started to see different executive orders get
We have
rolled
a
out,
tweet
and there's,
from
you know, a
Similarities.
congressional piece that
All
we
right,
have to do
research.
legislatively. But to the extent
How
that
do you
the president
typically
can
charge
continue
the
to
phone
identify
overnight
areas
or during the
he can
day?
handle with an
Is
executive
the phone being used while
actions, orders,
charging?
and
Thought of the
memoranda
EMS.
to start curbing the problem of
Thank you,
executive
similarities
of
aren't
illegal immigration.
research.
But also, again, it's about we talked a little bit about yesterday. in
Thank you for
terms of
tweeting
funding.
Verizon and
There's
the
a taxpayer issue.
NSA. Similarities
You've got
aren't research.
American people out there working,
Yeah,
and then
thank you,
having money
guys.
sent to places where folks that aren't in this country
Absolutely, we're the
are getting
same
sent to
way.
cities that are there
We're
for using their
new.
tax dollars. That's a part of it. So it's not a one-step solution. I think that's why you've got the wall. You've got some funding issues. You've got the
We have another
vetting, but
tweet
It is not a
from a
one-step
fan.
process. It's going to be a multi-tiered, multi-step.
It sounds like you got it wrong. Hello. Thanks for updating the phone. Let's keep working on this together. Let's have you restart your phone to reset your device. Thank you for your rhyme. Wasn't research.
The choice should be
Yeah, it's
someone
just
in
not.
their late 40s, early 50s.
It's just
as
not
a way
research.
of leaving his imprint on the court.
I think that there have been several names that have been floated out there.
Absolutely.
He put out the list a while ago of 20 or so. That's where I would look.
Beautiful.
I'm definitely not getting ahead of the president on this. But I would suggest to you that the people that are on that list
No,
that
like
put out
years
during the
ahead.
campaign
Absolutely.
represent the kind of people that he's not just
That's
going to
quick.
represent or he's not
Let's
going to
cover
nominate
happiness.
for the Supreme Court.
Only from
But we
Nestle.
have well over 100, I think it's 103
And
vacancies at the federal level and the appellate level. And I think that's going to continue to guide him.
and from Radio Shack.
One point of personal privilege.
Let us
Could we get
go.
the text of the executive
The basement.
order when the president makes the announcement?
Yes.
That would help.
In fact, I will tell you this, Margaret, I was just told the president is about to speak.
93.
I will get you the executive orders ASAP. Thank you guys very much. Real quick, hold on, real quick.
Thank you, Radio Shack, for your release date. 93. Basement.
Just for guidance
Bank of
purposes,
America.
we will be gaggling tomorrow on Air Force One. Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you in Philadelphia. Bye, guys.
Thank you guys very much for your interview. Very much. Thank you. We appreciate that.
I am honored.
Good morning, Mr. Trump. President Trump, how are you?
Theresa May here for our first official visit.
We have a sponsor. The sponsor block, Eddie Bauer, 50% off.
So, great honor.
Enjoy free shipping on all
Special
orders, $99
relationship
or
between
more.
our two countries has been one of the great forces in history.
Yeah, we love our sponsors,
Justice,
blah.
peace, and by the way, my mother was born in
Eddie Bauer.
Stornoway, which is serious.
Similarities aren't research.
Today, the United States renews our deep bond with Britain, military, financial, cultural,
Good morning.
and political. We have one of the
Absolutely.
great bonds. We pledge our
That's
lasting
quick.
support to this most special relationship. Together,
Thank
America
God for
and the United
Nesquik.
Kingdom are a beacon for
Solve the Kool-Aid,
prosperity
good Lord, thank God.
and the rule of law. That is
And
why
new
the United
vlog.
States
Hello, Mike
respects the
Campo, controller.
sovereignty of the British people and their right
We gotta go. We'll talk to you guys from the hotel.
determination.
Enjoy your day and enjoy our sponsors, Blind, Eddie Bauer. Enjoy 50% off. We'll talk to you guys later.
Has never been stronger.